With overdoses on the rise in Halton, Hamilton, and Niagara, a couple in Hamilton touched by the tragedy of the opioid epidemic is trying to help save lives. They're raising money to help create a supervised consumption site in the city. Matt Ingram has the details.
I worry that not everyone realizes how this could hit them.
It would make more sense if it happened to me, but to him, it never made sense to me.
Deanna Filk and Stuart Cameron both lost their brothers to drug overdoses. Richard Filk had battled addiction issues for years and worked to raise awareness about the disease. He overdosed several times before the final time cost him his life just last month. His sister says he tried to use in the safest way possible, but because he was alone when he died, a nearby naloxone kit didn't do him any good.
It really points to that there's no safe way to use these drugs, and that if this could happen to my brother, it could happen to literally anyone.
Stephen Cameron wasn't an addict and didn't use opioids, but fentanyl took his life nonetheless. He used some cocaine that was laced with it, killing him in November 2019 and leaving his two young kids without a father.
His dream was to be a good dad and be there for him, and I miss him, Stephen Cameron, and also my friend Daniel Beatty also overdosed because of this disease.
The recent death of Deanna's brother has pushed the couple to do more to battle the opioid epidemic. Her family set up a GoFundMe page raising more than $17,000 in just a few weeks to build a supervised consumption site in Hamilton in his name to help prevent overdoses.
I really felt like this is an opportunity, like something good can come of this.
Right now, there's only one supervised consumption site in the city of Hamilton, and it's here at the Urban Core Community Health Center. But the federal government has two open applications for more sites, including one from Hamilton Public Health.
The big piece of the application that we're continuing to work on is to finalize a location.
Melissa Bixa works in substance misuse prevention for the city and tells me just last week Public Health put out an alert warning users about a particularly potent fentanyl substance on the street causing overdoses. She says Hamilton continues to see high numbers of overdoses year after year. So far, paramedics have been called to 517 incidents in 2020, compared to 596 last year and 450 in 2018.
We've seen continued increases over the last few years.
Bixa says the pandemic is playing a role in this year's numbers, something also being noticed in neighboring Halton region.
The first 5 days of December, we had 7 suspected overdoses, 1 being fatal.
Paul Foley is a drug detective with Halton Police, and he says the pandemic has created barriers to addiction treatment services, has left people isolated, and says the drug supply is tainted with toxic ingredients like fentanyl.
We're still tabulating the stats for 2020, but based on my analysis, we have had more suspected overdoses across the year.
In Niagara, suspected overdoses are also on the rise year after year. This year, there's been more than 560 calls to paramedics for a suspected opioid overdose.